Hello class, this is the second part of the periodic table series. The link to the first part will be in the description down below. Now, let's move on to the contents of this video. So, let's learn about the types of elements of the periodic table. First, you have the alkali metals, which are the elements in the first group. If you want to know what a group is, it is a column in the periodic table, as we learned in the first video. Alkali earth metals are the elements in the second group of the periodic table. The transition metals are all the elements in group 3 to group 12 of the periodic table. Okay, just learn the names for now because that's what's important. Halogens are all the elements in group number 17. We are going to get to the rest of the elements later, but for now just learn the names. Now, noble gases are all the elements in group 18. Let's revise. So the alkali metals are all the elements in the first group, group number 1. The alkali earth metals are all the group elements in the second group, while the transition metals are all the elements from group 3 to group 12. And the halogens are all elements from in group 17, while the noble gases are all elements in group 18. Now let's move on to the metalloids. Metalloids are elements highlighted in dark green in the upcoming periodic table. I've done this because they don't have a specific group, okay? They are spread apart in groups. So they separate the metals from the non-metals. Now let's look at the periodic table. Let me move on to the next slide. So here is the actual periodic table. Let's label them. The first group is the alkali metals, as I have labeled in the diagram. The second group is of the alkali earth metals. It is highlighted in a peach color. It is highlighted in a skinny color. The third to 12th groups are the transition metals, and they are highlighted in pink, as you can see. The metalloids are highlighted in dark green, as told you in the previous slide, and they separate the metals from the non-metals. You see them? They form sort of a ladder between the metals and the non-metals. The halogens are in group 17. Don't mistake them by all the elements in group 15 to group 13 to group 17. They are just the elements in group 17. And the noble gases are the elements in group 18. Okay, let's recap. So the alkali metals are the elements in the first group, the alkali earth metals are the elements in the second group, while the transition metals are all the elements from group 3 to group 12, and the halogens are elements in group 17, while the noble gases are elements in group 18. Now let's move on to the next slide. Let's look at the common characteristics of elements in one group, the common characteristics of all the elements in one group. Now let's look at an important term. What is a valence electron? Well, a valence electron is an electron in the last electron shell of an atom. Let me show you with a diagram. So this is the structure of an atom, the Bohr atomic model, as we saw in the first video. The electrons in the final shell of the atom are the valence electrons. Okay, the number of valence electrons vary from atom per atom. Now let's look at the characteristics of elements in one group, the common characteristics. So all the characteristics, all the elements in the same group have the same number of valence electrons. Let me repeat that. The elements in the same group have the same number of valence electrons. Let me give you an example. All the elements in group 2 have 2 valence electrons. That's an example. The second characteristic is that the elements in the same group have similar chemical characteristics. All alkali metals are highly reactive. That's an example. All alkali earth metals are quite reactive. They are highly reactive, but not as reactive as alkali metals. So they have similar chemical characteristics, and they have the same number of valence electrons. Now let's move on to the next slide. Let's look at the characteristics of the elements in the same period. All elements in the same period have the same number of electron shells. For example, the elements in the second period have 2 electron shells. So what is an electron shell? I have demonstrated in the diagram I'm showing you. The shells in which electrons are circling the nucleus are called electron shells. The shells in which the electrons are present are called electron shells. So all the elements in the same period have the same number of electron shells. Just remember that. Now I conclude my video with this. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new from it. Please subscribe to my channel if you want new content. Please comment any suggestions down below, as I'm really new to teaching and I'm not really good at it. Please leave a like down below if you enjoyed this video. Please share this video with your friends and family and let them enjoy this video and let them learn something new. I'm desperate to show you more content, guys. And this was the last video in our Basics of Chemistry, the Periodic Table series. Once again, guys, thanks for watching.